another day 2, another great day at the gallery. Just amazing. So first of all, I got there, met with Phoebe first thing, and we went to the post office as planned to see if we could sort out a better option for the drawing that was meant to be shipped to America. So we went to the post office and they asked for the weight, what price it was to be insured, which was £500, and we weighed it and got it all sorted. So for it to be delivered in 4 working days, it would cost £83, and 3 working days to cost £94. And so then we had that information, we just asked for a quote, sent an email to the clients, and then we'll wait on their reply tomorrow. So that was really interesting to see how a dilemma is overcome in the gallery. I also brought in today, Simon yesterday asked me to bring in one of my pieces that he's seen on my Instagram, and it was an acrylic on paper piece that I'd done a few years ago, quite a colourful sort of abstract piece. And I brought that in, and it was already in a frame, and he wanted to reframe it, and he was really excited and said he'd like to exhibit it. So that was just phenomenal. And then later that morning, a couple came in, a Cornish artist, the man was, and his wife, and they were looking around the gallery, and then I noticed that he was my piece was on a chair, and it had been sort of sitting there for a little while, and he was sort of staring and admiring it, and I was really worried and quite scared as what he thought of it. And Simon was very discreet and didn't want to mention me, that, because, I've never exhibited art before or sold it or anything like that. And the guy was really interested. He asked about the medium, he asked the price, and Simon just plucked a number out of the air. He went, it's £450. And he said, and we'll frame it for you and everything. And they said they'd go away and have a think, and they asked who the artist was, and he said it's only Clark. And I was in the room, but he told me later, he was like, well, I didn't want to say who you were because you're young, and often people who look around art galleries look for old masters, and they don't really want to be buying from a 21-year-old girl, which I totally understand. And that was just so surreal, so exciting and so surreal. And they went away, and just to hear people talking about my work, in such a positive way was so, just amazing. Really, really amazing. So it's a very good morning. And then we got on to display. So me and Phoebe picked up a couple more of Laurie Hopkins' work from the Framers around the corner to be displayed, and they hadn't been photographed yet for the catalogue. So Phoebe asked me to take photos of them. She taught me how to do them professionally, thinking about the light and using a grid on her phone. She has a good camera on her phone to get the piece lined up. So I had to take pictures of the 3 new pieces that have been framed, both the close-up piece of just the work and then the frame itself. And Simon and Phoebe are debating at the moment whether for the catalogue they'll use just the artwork or the whole frame as well. So that was really interesting. So I took photos of that for the catalogue, which was, I felt, a great responsibility and very kind of them to leave that to me. And then me and Simon got onto the window display. So there was a Bridget Riley piece that I helped him take down. It was in the window display, and that's gone onto the wall in the entrance. And to go in their place is three of Laurie Hopkins' work on each side of the door as you walk in. And so me and Simon came up with different ways of doing it, and I found 3 easels to go on each side to position the different pieces. They're not very big, sort of about yay high. And and he let me just work away and see what worked best, and I was sort of moving things about, adding plants to the window display, making sure everything looked nice and tidy, and then stepping out the sides of the shop and seeing what looks best and arranging different things. So again, that was another big responsibility that was really exciting. And later in the day I heard people walking past and say, well, that looks really interesting, and it's really good to feel that you've contributed to something. And then we went on. So for the exhibition coming up, they need little plates or little labels by each of the pieces to explain what the work is. So when they go into the gallery and the exhibition, people can see their price and the title, which is Totem. So that's including Rosie's sculpture works and also Laurie's all her collage works and multidisciplinary works as well. So I was in charge of designing the totem sort of label, which was really exciting, and Phoebe came up with a great idea. One of the sculptures is sort of shaped in an O shape, so she said, well, why don't you design on the iPad, do a sketch of this, and then we can use that as the O in totem. So I did that and designed it myself. And then she was like, okay, well, now you can experiment with different fonts and adding in the rest of the words. So the T, and then the O is the sculpture, and TEM as well. So that was really exciting. So I looked at tens of different fonts to use for that, and we decided on colour. And it felt like a big responsibility. And then we started using that as a title for each of the labels, which will be in my presentation, you can see. And then I had to add in all the new information they had on the works that have gone to the framers, Laurie's works that have gone to the framers. So I had that written down. I had to adjust some of the prices because Simon decided to reduce them because they weren't selling possibly as well as hoped. So I put those in the corner, and me and Phoebe spent a little while deciding what colour the main title totem would be, and we decided for like a burnt umber sort of colour, and then working around that, how we're going to include Stowe Art House in there as well, and just designing that. And so I got about halfway through that and designing each of the labels, and also filling in all the information, so standard information like the measurements, the title, the name of the artist, the same that we did for the back labels yesterday, but including the name of the exhibition as well. And then I'll carry on working with that tomorrow. But, and again, another great day. Really enjoyed myself. Working with such lovely people makes the world of difference. But also people, who want my help and want me to learn and to get something from this experience is amazing. And they're incredibly generous. And another great day. And I really feel like I've taken a lot away today. I felt a lot more confident going in today and ready for tomorrow. Yeah.